Welcome back, everyone. I'm back here at the cabin and I wanted to prepare a medicinal oil today and tell you guys all about it. It's something I've been familiar with for a really long time. Stay tuned. So today we're going to head out into the field and collect a flower that starts flowering now, basically in the summer. Starts in July around here. It's called Johns Wort. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that plant. It's very familiar in the medicinal community. Lots of purported benefits for it, including its use as an antidepressant. And today I'm going to make an oil for mild skin abrasions and things like that. So let's head out into the field. I want to show you the plant that I'm talking about. So this is the plant we're looking at right here, Johns Wort. And as you can see, it's a beautiful yellow flower and it has 5 petals to it. It's a very, very beautiful flower. And one cool thing about it is that when you take it off of its little stem there and smush it between your fingers, you'll notice that red staining dye there that comes on my fingers. And that's the medicinal aspect of it. That's going to be infusing into our oil. So this is the perfect time of day to harvest your Johns Wort. You want the flowers to be picked late morning, the sun's nice and high in the sky, and the flowers are dry. You don't want them damp and full of water from the morning or evening dew. So I'm going to get a bunch of these back here behind me, and I'll show you how I harvest them. And I became aware of this this Johns Wort oil as a child. I remember I had a really bad sunburn as a kid, and my grandfather went out and showed me, well, let's pick something to help help your skin. And so what he did was he'd made a Johns Wort oil for me. So basically, picked a bunch of the flowers and put it in with some olive oil, and we let it sit for quite some time, and the medicinal aspects were extracted and mixed in with the oil, and it could be rubbed on the sunburn to help the skin. So let's get started. Here we go. Here's a better specimen of the plant. You can see the leaves there, really, really tiny leaves. The other one over there, there's a stem with leaves and a stem with the flowers on it, but they're really tiny. And of course, you want to pick nice fresh flowers for your oil. So what I do is I just kind of pick them off here, and I've got a nice jar. You can use a mason jar. I'm just going to use this old pickle jar right here. I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to try to aim for as much as possible to get in here. So there's a couple of compounds in Johns Wort that are used, for depression. There's hypericin and hyperforin in here that basically increase the neurotransmitters in your brain that basically make you happy. So a lot of people will use Johns Wort for depression, and there is some evidence that it is helpful for mild to moderate depression. Now, the one thing with Johns Wort is it does interact with a lot of medications. So you definitely want to check with your doctor before you start a Johns Wort supplement for depression or for any other of its medicinal benefits. One thing about Johns Wort is it does sensitize you to the sun. So if you are going to be using the ointment for any sort of skin affliction or abrasion or rash or something like that, just make sure that you're staying out of the sun, because it does sensitize you, and you could get an even worse reaction to the sun if you are exposed to it while you're using the Johns Wort. So I don't really want to pick every single flower necessarily off of one plant, although it's not going to really harm it. You should always be grateful to the plant for providing you your medicine and give it thanks. At least, verbally. Some people use tobacco as a thank you. But this is a beautiful way to spend an early afternoon, late morning is picking these flowers. And honestly, these patches are quite prolific. They're everywhere. So it's not too hard to fill up your jar in a hurry. There's something really nice and meditative about picking medicines here in the field. It gives you time to think, time to, reminisce on the past, memories of my grandfather and things like that. Just really nice to connect with the land and enjoy my morning. And after I've picked one patch, I'm just going to go along my little trail here and go to another area. You just want to, spread out. Like with everything, you don't really want to pick an entire patch bald. So I'm just going to go throughout the field and get more. My jar is filling up pretty quickly there, so maybe I'll try to get it half full at least. One thing about picking Johns Wort is you're going to get some of the medicinal compounds on your fingers. So my fingers are all turn like a beautiful reddy purple color. Oh well. So I'm picking here, I'm finding these little baby toads. Look how cute they are. Oh, little tiny baby toads, how adorable. Guess I'll let this guy get out of the sun. All right, that'll do it. I've got about a half jar full of the flowers. So we're gonna head back into the cabin right now for the next step. It's really easy. All right, so just back here at the cabin. And as you can see, I've got my St. Johns Wort flowers and I've got some light olive oil. So we're just gonna pour that over the flower petals. Alrighty. This is the most expensive part of it, obviously, is the oil. But it'll give you a lot of medicine, so there you go. Worth its weight in gold. So I'm just going to make sure that all of the flowers are covered. And then a little bit more. And then we'll use some to kind of push it all down underneath the oil. You can use, like I said, a mason jar. This is just an old and clean pickle jar. Just make sure you've got a lid for it because we're going to want to be working with this for a few days. We want to shake it every 3 to 4 days just to kind of mix it up, mix the medicine around. There we go. Sounds good. So you can use a fork to make sure that all the flowers are sort of mixed in there and kind of pushed underneath the oil. I used a light colored olive oil, like a light oil, just so you can appreciate the really nice, look at that little bug out of there. You can appreciate the nice color that's going to develop in here. Now once you're all done, pop your lid on there and we're going to put it in the sun. You want this in a nice sunny windowsill, you know, at the cabin, in your kitchen. You're going to leave it there for 4 to 6 weeks. You want to extract all the medicine out of the flowers. Remember to shake it every few days just to kind of mix everything around. And then after, you know, 6 weeks or so, you can strain out the flowers and, you know, decant your oil into some really beautiful containers. And then it's going to be ready to use. So it can be used on minor abrasions, wounds, eczema, things like that. So take a look at it online from a really trusted source for your herbal medicines. But that's how you make it. That's how you make St. Johns Wort oil. Well, thanks so much for joining me today to learn how to make St. Johns Wort medicinal oil. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below in the comments. And remember, always consult with your doctor before using a new herbal treatment. All right, I hope you guys have a great week as always. Take care.